February 2020 at 5:30 in, we'll call the Board of Works to order. Good evening. How are you? Good. Here's one of the roll call.
Okay. Mayor Amy?
Here.
Tom Lewis? Karen Gracious? Here.
If you've had the,
We won't have a quorum because Karen wasn't here last time, so we'll have to hold up on those to the next one.
on the minutes, okay.
Yeah, yes, she wasn't here.
So we'll have to hold on the minutes because you weren't here last time, so we don't have a quorum to approve the minutes. So we will hold on the minutes there. So, departments, Chief?
Start with me, I'm ready. Well, I have a little bit of a problem.
Okay.
I put in for bids for vehicles approximately 3 weeks ago. I'd asked John Jones and asked Eddie Gilstrap to give me bids on Dodge Durangos and to give me bids on Dodge Chargers. 4 different bids. Normally we like to have 3. There's been times when we haven't, I just haven't received bids back. So in saying that, I got my bids from Eddie Gilstrap today. I told both of them when I needed my bids by 5:30 on the 24th. Met with Mr. Conklin Thursday or Friday in my office and went over everything, and I've not heard anything from John Jones.
Okay.
So all I have bids on is from Eddie Gilstrap.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how you want to proceed with that. I'd be more than happy to tell you the bids and the trade-in prices I got.
Why don't we wait till next week? Maybe Mr. Conklin will have bids. You also bid Chevrolet and Ford?
No, I just bid the Chargers and I bid the Dodge Durangos.
Your Dodge.
I know that the Chevys, if they have them, they're going to be way higher. The Dodges are the cheapest.
Okay.
I can try to get bids if the board would like me to for others.
If Chevrolet's higher?
I don't think the board's going to meet next week. I guess if I have, my biggest concern is that I kind of make it fair for both. And Gilstrap got them to me, and John Jones hasn't. So extending that time period, I have to let Gilstrap know. I don't know how they'll feel about that, which is it's not my concern, but just to advise the board.
You know, I appreciate that, but to me, we don't have a competitive bid.
Okay.
I mean, Josh, is that possible to do this or not?
I mean, this is an area that we have a lot of discretion because of the amount we're talking about within our policy. We're basically following the policy. We're not within the state required bidding range. If he sets your guidelines, I mean, it gets uncomfortable for me if we've set some type of bid arrangement and we've got one entity that's followed it. I mean, as far as from being competitive, it is competitive since we opened it up to whoever wanted to and who wanted to apply. So, I mean, we've complied with the law at this point.
Okay.
So, if we wanted to rebid it, the proper thing to do at this time would be to reject what we've received and then rebid it.
Okay.
Which I kind of agree with Scott there.
Right.
When you've only got one that applied or responded, you might aim at them, but next time you might have 4, who knows. But it does get, in situations like this, oftentimes with entities in the school, for example, we may only have one bid received, even though we've let it out to 10 or 12. So I don't know what your experience has been in the past with that, but.
Well, in the past, we've done, if we're going to be honest, in the past, we've done business with about one dealership, and that's it.
Has it been Eddie Gilstrap or has it been John Jones?
It's been John Jones. And when the bids come in, they've been comparable. John Jones has been a little bit higher, a few $100 higher, and the city's always went with John Jones because we're local. Like I said, I met with John Conklin Thursday or Friday. We got a text message where I told him the 24th, the bids by. Be more happy to step outside and make a phone call for him. He's in home, John, and see what's going on.
If you wouldn't mind,
No.
then why don't we do that to see if maybe he's in the hospital?
That's all I have is the car bids.
Okay.
We're going somewhere else. I'll step outside. Appreciate it. I get home.
Appreciate that, Chief. Ms. Leslie, always a joy.
I have 2 sewer adjustments there for you guys to sign off on, and that's all I have for you this evening.
Okay. So sewer adjustment,
Yep.
okay, pipe leaking,
Yep. And they have attached their documentations from plumbers showing that they've paid to have that fixed and repaired, so.
okay. Okay. That looks fine. So you just want me to sign?
Yes, sir.
That's all you had?
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. Me, always a joy.
Last Thursday at our board of directors meeting for the IMEA, we had a presentation given to us by Gallagher Insurance, and I think I've given Jan information already, but I want to bring it to the board's attention that they will come do a free audit of where we're buying our property insurance. I think it's property casualty. I just want to, again, make the board aware and give Jan some additional information.
Is this a separate insurance that Big has in the electric department?
No.
It's for the whole, it's for the
For the whole
city.
city?
Yeah.
So this is basically is from Indiana Municipal?
Indiana Municipal is partnered with Gallagher,
Okay,
and they're working on trying to be able to pull, right now they can't, we can pull insurance in the health,
okay,
as far as health insurance, but state law won't allow pulling as far as property and casualty, or I think I'm saying that right. But anyway, who knows where that'll end up, but they've already done a couple of audits for other cities and saved them, I think 14,000 one, 100-something thousand another. But again, what it'll cost us is if Jan has time and it's worth the effort, or if she wants to wait till our insurance comes due and then maybe consider just kind of keep it on the, I don't know if it's called the front burner or what, but that they did that presentation, so I thought I'd just pass that along for Jan.
okay. Thank you very much. And, yeah. That's good. This is from down by another mayor I know as well. Oh, yeah, good, absolutely. So, what else do you have?
Little update on our fiber build out. As you know, we've had Spectrum Engineering design it, and I've gone through reviewing and revising it, and we've got about 65 to 70% of our address allocations built for what we're calling the old electric. That's where our fiber splitter box is going to be, and it'll be serving 864 individuals out of that splitter. But we've got about 65 to 70% of those addresses allocated to a certain port and fibers back into that splitter. And we've got about 20% of the fiber, as far as the backbone, the actual fiber itself, running or up in the air and a little bit more hardware. So we're looking probably in the next couple months start ramping up and getting that fiber so we can get that area covered.
Okay.
And that area being north of 56, east of 31, this is the part that gets disappointing for you, south of Lake Iowa, and that's our first area that we'll cover completely and get built out. And then we'll see what kind of response we get from other areas, and we'll start building those out.
So you're saying that basically you're preparing right now to go residential?
Yes, yes, we do not have, and that's what we'll have to get with the attorney to figure out our pricing schedules and make sure that we're doing what we need to do in that direction, which is kind of bring it to the board's attention, let you know that this is getting ready to happen, that we can't sell anything until we have a ordinance by the council that says what we can sell it for. But we're looking at, let's say late spring, mid to late spring, that we'll be wanting to. We've got the equipment, we just need to start selling it.
Okay, okay. So basically, well, that's good news. So basically, by late spring, you're possibly then be able to have a residential offering. That's wonderful.
In this first area.
In this first area.
We'll see what the response we have to which next area we go to.
That's not quite a quarter of our city, but probably
About a fifth.
about a fifth, about 20%. Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Thank you. So you have projections?
No, we're building it out for 100%, so we can do whatever we want with it, and we're building it, trying to future-proof it. That's why we're bringing the fibers from all the homes into a central location, so that in the world of, in the IT world, bandwidth just keeps going up, that it's a matter of where a lot of entities are carrying it down fiber, splitting it off, carrying it down fiber, splitting it off. We're doing all the splitting on the head end, so that in order to provide more bandwidth later, we're talking about offering a gig. Is what we're looking at to start out with.
That's awesome.
But we only have to carry more fiber, which we can on our trunk line. We've already got built around the city into those splitter huts. And that's why the splitter huts are regional. And someone dividing the city up into quarters, it's actually 5 parts. But it's been a project that's been in the works for a good little bit, but it's at the point where we're getting ready to start turning it loose.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So, penetration in business, decent?
Yes, we have all our industry. I can't think of an industry we're not building right now in fiber.
Good.
And as far as the larger businesses, our biggest issue is with your national chains, if you will.
Right.
That they hear a city, small city's got broadband, they're thinking, you know, it's not going to be dependable. Our biggest struggle is getting their IT guy to talk to our IT. Once that happens, we don't have problems, because they realize that we do know what we're doing. And that goes to Mike McGovern's prices, that he's second to none.
Mike is awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. What else, brother?
That's all I've got for tonight. Well, quick note, the guys done a great job last Thursday at the goat milk stuff.
Yeah.
That converting them over to a 3-phase and keeping them up and running. And we had to get some they get generators. But that was a tricky process. It's only transformer bank in town like it. It's using 2 URD transformers to create a 3-phase to help relay. It was kind of unique in what we done, and they were tickled to death. But the guys, they worked through lunch, worked an hour over to make it happen, so we could have everything back on, and very proud of them. Everyone, it was a very cold, windy day to be out there. So.
And you didn't lose any goat cheese?
And as far as we know. We did, they didn't tell us. They patted us on the back, so we're presuming the goat cheese is in good shape.
And they've been very satisfied since.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's all.
Thank you very much.
Mayor,
Sir.
you care if I ask Jim a question? Is that okay? It's me. I just want to ask Jim a question. I've had some people ask me questions about the solar panels. How's that coming along? And are we receiving electricity from those yet?
That's
I got people asking me, that's why.
okay. That's actually an IMPA project.
Okay.
It's just going to run through our system when they get it hooked up. But that'll be treated the same as the coal-fired plant in Illinois that generates electricity for IMPA.
Okay.
That we, as an electric utility, we furnish any power they need on site, which they're not using our power right now. But we have nothing really to do other than make a connection to our system to go through the transformer to get back into the transmission system.
Okay.
Thank you. Scottsburg has nothing to do.
Okay. Well,
The only benefit we will receive is like any business coming into town, we will get a tax once the tax abatements are off.
they were told different, so, but anyway, I just asked.
Yeah, Terry, you know about that, that's
Okay.
my side of it.
Okay, I apologize, I was
No,
asked
you're
to
fine.
ask, and I'm glad you was talking when I walked in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, brother?
That's all.
Chief?
Well, I'm assuming that he forgot. He said he was really busy today, and so I asked him if he could have him by tomorrow, and he thought that he could. So I'm not against, as the attorney said, Josh said, just scrap it and do it in 2 weeks again. My biggest concern is that the delay in getting them ordered and getting ready. I know in the past, we ordered in January, February, it's 2 months before we get them in.
You short cars? You short vehicles?
Am I short vehicles? No, we keep them. We have 17 officers while we're in the process of get her 17, so we try to keep 18, so I have one pure car that the guys have to have. So I've got the cars, it's just the delay in getting in. I have no problem if you guys want to open the bids back up. I'll call Gill Straps tomorrow, let him know, and I'll call John Conklin tomorrow and tell him, and then maybe see if I can call around and find some others if it's possible.
You know, and again, you know, this is your preference. And we just want the best value for the citizens. And to me, the big thing is just a local dealer. If you had, I mean, to me, if you have service, you have a guy here, instead of running it all the way to Salem. So, but that's.
And we work, and just so you're knowledgeable on this, we have worked with, they've worked with us better recently. In the past, we had to take those to Corridor.
Okay.
And that's where the Dodge dealership is, and that's not convenient for us.
That's not.
So we had, lately though, we've been able to drop them off at the local dealership.
Okay.
I called them and I was nice that day, and the displeasure of two officers having to drop the car off, trying to get them back. And especially when we had a dealership half a mile from the police department.
Right.
So we've been able to drop them off there's a little bit of delay because they actually couldn't get them to drive down and bring it back, but it works out.
So they were accommodating to you to switch that back to Scottsburg, or they were not?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
They were. They've been picking them up at Scottsburg. And when I got the bids from John, I dealt with Mr. Thurston before, and John was on the council, and we couldn't do business with him. And Mr. Thurston's retired, or he's left, and he's back into law enforcement now.
Okay.
So I voiced my concerns through Mr. Thurston, and he understood.
Okay.
So once again, I don't know if you want me, if the board wants me to reopen them, I'll reopen them and come back next board work meeting.
What do you think, Council?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to let it, then we need to reject the ones we received so far. We don't want to make them public and put anyone at a disadvantage or anything of that nature.
Right. So yeah, I wouldn't want Jones to know what Gilbert's bidding.
No, I think he was leaving her in the bush after that.
I'm so proud of you.
Give them a raise after they quit, right?
I didn't publicly announce what the Ghost Straps bids was, so I could, if they wanted to keep this bid, I'm assuming I can just keep that bid until.
Yes, that's up to them. If that's what they're wanting to submit, then that's fine.
You know, or do we just, go with their bid? I haven't seen, we haven't heard from Gilbert's bid, so I would keep it to yourself right now.
I'll reopen on next board meeting.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
What about the idea here on transferring the area plan board secretary to into the mayor's office? Can that be done this
The
evening?
advisory plan, you mean the advisory plan?
Can that be done this evening?
So currently, we have to help me here a little bit. The commission has hired what staff? What do they have?
An executive director and a assistant to the executive director.
Okay. Because an advisory is not required to have an executive director. That's, the area is required to have an executive director. So the job title is executive director and an assistant to the executive director. And that was hired by the planning commission or prior to the
It went through, I believe it went through the planning commission, that they were not officially hired until it went through the planning commission. I would have to go through and
We
double
would have
check,
to double
but
check, I
but
can't
I'm
answer
pretty
that
sure.
tonight without looking.
We're not making a recommendation to hire her and went to the board of works.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it was a recommendation that went
From
through the
the
board of
planning
works.
commission,
Yeah,
and
that's,
the board of works approved that recommendation.
I was looking back to see if I could find it in my phone here.
with looking at statute, and I would want to know the minutes, how exactly that came to be, both ways. I mean, as far as that position and the assistant position. I mean, I think it would be, at the very least, having the planning commission involved. So either if it's a joint meeting, at least having their president or someone here to speak to it. With statute, an advisory planning commission is to appoint, remove, and fix the compensation of its employees. So that's what I'm wondering, as far as the minutes, how exactly, if they took the step of hiring that administrative assistant, if it was this board that did that, how exactly you got to those positions before we would do anything from this board. Does that make sense?
Basically, we need to have a board member from the advisory planning board, or we need to have the executive of the area plan. Did you find it?
I'm pulling up through two different things. I'm pulling up the Board of Works minutes and as well as I've got the original first meeting plan commission minutes in my email, so that's what I'm trying to pull up both right now.
When is the next planning commission meeting? Don't they meet at the same?
It will be the third Monday of March.
They meet at the same time as us, right? Or,
No, we meet second and fourth.
They
oh, they
meet
meet together.
hold on, I've got it right here. They meet at 6 p.m. for the Plan Commission and 6:30 for the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I think it would make a lot of sense to have a joint meeting with them, potentially even an executive, to discuss the employment situation.
Okay, have an executive meeting.
Yeah. Because I don't want, if the planning commission is the one that hired that employee, I think under code they have some control. Under code they would have some control over that position. And then if the job, obviously under certain, with the certain requirements we have with IDEM right now, if the work is not there or whatnot, having them involved in making the decision to reallocate or how we would handle that position, I think makes some sense.
There's the minutes from that meeting.
So that would be my preference.
They hired in April of 2018, yeah, because it was all established in 2017, I know. But
I
you're looking
just-
at Board of Works minutes.
Well, he's looking at the very first Plan Commission meeting minutes, and I'm pulling up through the city's website
She may not have been hired the first meeting. I think, I may be wrong, but I think we run her on later, a few meetings later, as an assistant, but I may be wrong. That was kind of like shifting from the calendar.
So it looks like it was through, this meeting. That there was an executive director / building commissioner and then assistant to the executive director. This is what was passed.
Yeah, that was their first minutes.
I mean, I think that would be my preference, is that we get them on board and
Okay.
have some type of, is that, as you're indicating, there was a reference or at least a recommendation made onto this board, which is typical with when you would have hiring procedures that would come through this board. With that statute, though, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, I think it'd be best to have the joint meeting.
Are you on the board, Will Bank?
Yes, I.
I thought you were. Okay. And you're on there too, Stacey? Or
No,
Leslie?
Laura and Richie in my office.
Oh, Laura, okay, okay, all right.
Richie Barton is the president of the board or chair,
Yeah.
whatever the title is.
So basically, no action be taken on that this evening. What announcements do we have?
I I would like, need the board to make, I need to make, somebody to make a motion to accept the claims as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
The claims is just can't find it.
Sure, that fits in with it, it's got the same name on it.
Okay. She's already, she's, just need you to sign all those. She's already, yeah, she's already signed it. She can look at it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
All the salaries.
Yes.
Okay, I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. That's all in favor, say aye.
Aye.